Hey, it's Oska from the Frontrunner Colombo.
And Tom from the Frontrunner Colombo.
And Kat from Back on Track Sports.
And you are listening to our weekly Run the Spesh podcast, where we talk about the human locomotive movement of running. And yes, I have been thinking about that all day. I feel like I nailed the execution. I'm also going to try and do a slightly better job at my dictation, so that my words don't slur into each other like I'm some sort of alcoholic.
I haven't noticed it, but...
Enunciate.
Enunciate. I'm going to enunciate way better. So welcome. If you haven't listened to us before, I'm so sorry it's going to take 45 minutes to get to talking about shoes. If you have listened to us before,
if
you have listened to us before, I am so sorry that you've listened to us before.
I do apologise.
But thank you.
But thank you. We do appreciate it. It's been fun. I think it's been really fun over the last few weeks. As always, why don't we start off with how our training's been? And I feel like Kat's got the biggest news.
Yeah.
And no, she's not pregnant.
Oh, geez. Yeah, definitely. It's not that. Sorry, Dad.
So I think we just start with Kat's training and what's happening for Kat, because
Yeah, let's
fun.
go for it. Well, we'll go back to last week when I was completely delusional and thought that I could run a marathon off no training and no nutrition plan. And yeah, turns out I was very humbled when, So I have decided to run a marathon, which, I'm a little intimidated by for sure, but also I'm pretty excited. Like, it's a new challenge for me. So yeah, last week Craig gave me some meaty sessions to do.
And it wasn't like salami meaty. That thing's a whole fucking prime rib. He's like, have a chew of that, love.
Here we go.
Yeah. So talk us through it.
Yeah, so the session, so I've done two, and the first session was basically 20k at marathon pace. And really the main idea was to try and practice some nutrition with it as well, because that's one thing I've been useless at anyway, and B, just never really practiced. So yeah, it's just all about trialing different nutrition brands. So yeah, Saturday I had Morden.
How did that go, Kat?
So started off real good. So I had one before my warm up, so I had 8k warm up and then got into the session, and then had one 3k into the 20k, and I was supposed to do another one at about 14k, but I just honestly I couldn't get it down, so I thought, nah, let's not do it. But I did get the first one down. It did take me a k to eat that because I found it pretty difficult. Yeah, I don't know, the texture just wasn't doing it for me.
I love it, eh?
Yeah, no, it wasn't for me. So yeah, I don't know. I got round about 18k, and then I thought, shit, this is not good. So the last 2k were a bit rough. And as soon as I finished, it all came out. So that was great.
Oh my goodness. We've all been there. And you're right, the texture of the Morton is so jelly. I mean, I love it. I must have a massive mouth, which I think we've established in the last 5 weeks. So I can fit the whole gel in the side of my cheek, and then I suck it across between breaths. I tell you who the most impressive person is to watch have a gel, and that's Andy. He was having those precision gels, and when I was pacemaking him in Christchurch, he'd just like... It was unreal. I'm like fumbling around with the thing and like mucking it. It was like, oh my god, that is an efficient gel. So we're not going to take Morton on race day, are we? Well, you're not going to take Morton,
no. So yeah, the next session was 3x5k, and I trialled Pure and went down a treat. Like, so easy. I got them down in like 20 seconds and had no issues. So yeah, it was good just to trial some things, and I'm glad I did without going and running a marathon without trialing.
Life lessons.
So what's the next trial? Precision.
The next one, I am going to trial Precision because I have heard really good things about that, and I think Andy was just saying it's a nice in between from Morton and Pure. So yeah, we'll give that a go.
It's definitely one of my favourites for texture, and the way that they've done the pull tab at the top means it doesn't all come out at once. That's one probably feedback I've got from Morton, is when you pull the pull tag, and if you don't collect it all the way, I've ended up going for the gel and getting the rest of the pull tab in my mouth as well, and having to make a decision between like spitting the gel out or swallowing whatever the packaging's made out.
Not a decision you want to make.
Yeah, it's like, I don't really need this. But I quite like the precisions, they're good. What kind of pace were you running for your 3x5K?
Actually, I smashed that session. That was real good. Averaged 3:33s, I think, for each. Yeah, it was a K jog in between. So, yeah, big session. But yeah, confidence builder for sure.
Yeah, so you're running Auckland, eh?
Yep, running Auckland. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're both doing a crash course in hills right now. Yeah. We're like, oh yeah, I might run some hills.
I know, I've got to get up there, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you're going to try precision the weekend. That sounds fun. What have you got I guess when you run your first marathon, and I ran my first marathon in Auckland in 2016, and I was just mostly afraid about not making the finish.
Yeah, that's honestly, I just want to get through it and survive, and that'd be great. Yeah. I do want to ask you though, like, how do you break down a marathon? Because
That's a good question.
For me, like for a half especially, it's like 5K blocks. Mentally, how would you do a marathon?
I've tried lots of different ways. I found the 3K quite good.
3K.
The 3K splits, because like 5K is quite long if you're having a bad time, and 5K is real long if you've overcooked it. And so by getting the 3K, so say when I ran Auckland the first time, it was like I want to see roughly 10 minutes, give or take 5 seconds either side for me every 3K.
Yeah.
And that was really easy math.
Yeah.
I tried the 5K thing at Reboot. I found that trickier, even though I ran faster there. So obviously it's dead flat. But I found like a little bit more inconsistent maybe with the splits. Auckland is really good because you can't run fast in the first 9K. Because if you do, the last 9K is going to suck. So I think if you look at where the hills are, you run up them really well, you don't kill your quads running down, then you hit the motorway, that's quite nice running, you get over the bridge, then you come back around under the yacht club, and then you just start, okay, there's the 21K mark, I can see Victoria Park, okay, how am I going to make my way out to St Heliers? And then there's like those footbridges every 3K almost by design.
That's pretty perfect, You just like get to the next bridge.
And so I was going bridge to bridge, and I tell you what, the thing that killed me the most was running past KFC with like 2.5K to
so
go,
good.
and it never tastes like it smells. And it was just like, that is criminal. And I'd done really bad math because I thought Jono was 2 minutes behind me, and I was like, he could still catch me.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He was like 4.5 minutes because I hadn't taken into account he still had to run that way. In the past, I was pretty tired. But it's a good question. It's a good question.
Yeah, nice.
I'm excited to see what you do now. I'm pumped. I reckon you're going to crush it.
Yeah.
Just have fun.
I will.
Like,
It will be
have
fun.
fun.
Isn't it crazy you were running a 4x1 like 2 years ago?
4x4.
4x400, and now you're running a marathon?
There's 4
I
in
just
it.
got to keep extending it. I always said I wouldn't get here. Everyone was like, oh, you'll end up like, running marathons one day. I'm like, no.
Always the way it
Look at
goes.
me now.
Yeah. Yep. I feel
Crazy.
that hard. Cool, man. Okay. Well,
then you
Tom,
go into
you've had
trails.
You've had a big
14 days.
Yeah.
So do
Yeah.
you want to
It was a large 14 days.
recap Sydney 70.3?
Yeah, can do. Well, where do I start? The swim was average. The swim was tough. I've never really swum open water before, and a lot harder than swimming in the pool. I think it would have been a bit easier if the water was clear. I don't know, I just couldn't find people's feet because it was so dark, and then just trying to swim straight as well when you can't have any gauge where you're going. It's pretty rough. But it's still fairly solid. Probably like a minute or two off where I wanted to be, but first one, so yeah. And then the bike was tough. The bike was rough, mainly because my seat came loose.
You must have one
40K
powerful ass.
into the race. I don't know if it's that or the fact that my bike is so old and the bolts just came loose from the bumpy road. But yeah, I thought I was just I questioned it 40K in, and I was like, am I just slipping around because I'm sweating and trisuit's probably still damp? And then we checked the bike after the race, and it was like hanging on with probably 2 or 3 spins left.
So the question on everyone's mind is, if that seat comes off, are you pegging it home? Like,
No, you stop completely and have to just try to screw it back on. But yeah, aside from that, it was decent. I felt like I had bike fairly solid for the race conditions and how I was feeling. There was one point in the race where I was like, oh, I might have overcooked it here.
Mm-hmm.
We were coming back, and I think he had probably 10 or 15k to go, and just block headwind.
Yep.
Pace dropped from like 40 to 34k an hour, and I was like, oh shit, here we go. This is where it all goes downhill. But I managed to regather it and came off, felt pretty solid. Coach was like, don't run faster than 3:30s, and I ended up running
3:18s.
3:18 first K.
Did you?
And I was
Oh
like,
my god.
okay, slow down. I mean, I've never run a half before, like raced a half. So that was all new, and especially off a bike. So I don't know, it was just the whole thing about being patient, I think, which I haven't done before. But I didn't find it too bad. It was really helpful having my mate Dom there, because the whole race, because it was a roll down start, I had no idea where I was. So like placing wise or anything, it was all oblivious to me, because on the bike we were getting splits, and then it means like some people that swam faster could have started behind you or in front of you,
yes.
or right next to you. So yeah, I had no idea until I got on the run, and Domos was on the live tracker, which was really handy. And he was yelling some encouragement and also some
Profanity.
some funny words that were keeping me going. Yeah, so that was really, really helpful. And I felt really good pretty much the whole way until maybe 5k to go. I got a little bit of cramp in my hamstring, but it wasn't bad. I just didn't really want to push it. But he told me I was already like 4 minutes down on 4th place, I think it was. So I would have had to run like 3 flats to catch up.
We were watching the live tracker.
Yeah.
We were like, come on.
Yeah.
And I think Indy and I were watching it like on the thing. That was an impressive run off the bike. It was like 76 minutes.
Yeah. I think 75 high, 76,
Oh, man.
something
That's
like
amazing.
that. Yeah.
It's unreal.
And yeah, I wore some shoes that I hadn't worn at all. Which
You did
I do
everything
not
wrong.
recommend. Yeah.
You did everything wrong.
Advice I would never give to anyone in the store, like definitely run a few workouts in a racing flat before running in it, but they arrived the day before I left, so.
What did you race in?
I raced in the On Echo 3, Cloudboom Echo 3, which was actually really nice. It's a bit firmer than some of the racing flats out there, but I felt with my previous injury in my ankle, because it was firm, it was more stable. And I didn't feel like I was rolling in as much, which was really handy. And yeah, surprisingly, it held up pretty well. My feet got a little bit hot, maybe with like 5k to go, but it was also a warm day. It was like
Did you put socks on for a half like that? You
Yeah,
put socks on
yeah.
first, yeah.
Chuck the socks on after the swim.
Yeah.
So I had them on the bike and then
Yeah.
just slip them on and run. And the nutrition went well, which I was pretty happy with.
There's a lot of anxiety from Turbo. like on the day before he left, he's like, I need more of a plan.
Yeah. Which I seemed to, I wouldn't say I nailed it, but like didn't have to stop for the bathroom, didn't have any gut issues, which I've had for years. So yeah, it went pretty well.
Do you reckon you just cashed in all your bad luck?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
over
think
you've had
so.
all that bad luck for 3 years, you just cashed them all back in.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of people actually. That was funny. Mid race, I was just like riding past people that had pulled over because of mechanicals or punches and stuff, and I was just like hanging on to the bars, like, "Don't be me, don't be me." just let me get to the end of the bike. It had the seat thing, but nothing else, which was lucky. And managed to come 5th in my age group, which got a slot to World Champs.
We're off to World Champs,
That's
baby.
Yeah,
so
so
awesome.
go again in Taupo. So I guess I'll have to keep cross training now.
Do you think, Andy asked the question last week, have you found your new niche?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's always a sport I've kind of wanted to try. I just never really had the money or the time with running. It's a lot more expensive than running. I found that out. Oh my god. Even the entry, like traveling with a bike and just a bike in general. Yeah, not for not for people that don't want to spend a lot of money. But yeah, maybe we'll see. I'm pretty keen to give World Champs a good go. And
Just
then
Taupo,
take
December?
it from there. Yeah, in December. So all the big dogs will be racing. They think they start like 10 minutes before us, and then we just go off after them. So hopefully try find a proper race bike before then, so I'm not on the roadie with
So
a broken seat.
Scotty, if you're listening, mate,
yeah.
we'll take
Any
one.
sponsors?
Yeah,
it would be lovely.
We'll take a bike for two. Maybe we do a collab. We do a bit of a
Yeah.
collab.
So no, it was really good, and then just kind of chilled for a day. Body was tender. I wouldn't say like I didn't feel super fatigued, which I was expecting to. And then just jogged like 30 minutes 3 times, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then met up with everyone at relays and had a run there, which went surprisingly well.
You ran real well.
Yeah, I was.
I felt like you
Yeah,
were
Oska and I
just
walked
doing
up
enough.
together.
You were just doing enough to hold me off. There was no
Yeah,
more.
I was scared you were going to roll past me at one point. But yeah, I mean, from all my mates that have done half Ironmans, they say it normally takes like 2 weeks to come around. So I was really like a little bit worried that I was just going to have nothing in my legs. But I think the overall fitness and the fact that I didn't go completely to the well in Sydney kind of carried through pretty well.
You also get another lease on life when you're in a relay.
Yeah,
as
it was
well,
only
don't you?
it was like 7K as well, so I was like, oh, I've just raced for 4 hours, like this is nothing.
Yeah.
And just
The
go out and
mentality.
smash it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was hard. That course was, I mean, going into it, you see it on a race course, and like, oh yeah, it's gonna be fast, it's gonna be fun, but that was not an easy course. I didn't feel like it was easy anyway, but yeah, I guess that leads to relays though.
Yeah.
What a weekend.
Should I tie my week of training up?
Yeah,
and then,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll recap.
And then we'll recap relays.
relays.
First of all, fun weekend.
It was crazy. So so we recorded our last one on Tuesday last week.
Yep.
So I did a workout that was far too substantial to try and run well on the weekends. And on paper, I was like, oh, this is pretty crazy. I was out there for like 45 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was. But when you include the float recovery, I think I did like a 10-minute tempo into some longer threshold reps. And then it was quite nice not to have to run 2 hours last Thursday. That was luxurious. I didn't feel absolutely fucked at work. And then Friday, we did a little easy half an hour in the morning. Oh, actually, the Thursday afternoon, the bike hub arrived. I tried the bike hub, so I was like, well, I think I should try this
Probably a wise idea.
before Saturday. And so I was like, I'll make this thing up about 2 o'clock on Thursday afternoon before I go out for my very easy 30 minutes. So it's not really recreating a race environment. Man, the consistency of that thing. And I'm willing to say almost anything. I'm not going to tell you what the consistency is. But it's fucking feral. It's like, you can make your own mind up.
Yeah.
It's like gel with little white bits in it.
Yeah.
And so I had that. I was charging, but I was like, you know when you drink like a litre of Sprite too fast? Oh, I was just burpy, eh?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was just so burpy. But it's fine, I can deal with that. And then I went out for my run. I felt terrible in the first K and ran sort of like a 4:25 or whatever. And then all of a sudden, everything came online and I started rolling 350s. I was like, okay, I should calm down a little bit. And then I charged all night till like 11:30 p.m. I was really struggling to come down from it. So then on Friday, we a group of us, we had 2 groups for UC. We had a group flying into the Tron, getting a van
City of the future.
with Moddy's City of the Future.
Get off
Rural city of nothing. We got to work out. Hamilton's like the nipple. It's only useful on half the people.
Here we go.
Oh dear. Well, we've done pretty well. It took me 20 minutes.
No, we're good. We're good. Still within reason.
And then a group of us flew into Rotorua or Tauranga, and I picked a van up and Modders drove a van over, and we all met in Taupo at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. And do you know one of the most traumatic experiences ever is trying to get 16 fully grown adults at the supermarket to make up their fucking mind?
Yeah.
about what to eat for dinner.
Yeah.
Like, and we're adults. Our team is kind of 28 to, well, there's a couple younger ones, but it's, like we were just piss-assing around.
Yeah.
This just drove me mental. Anyway, there's like 3 different meals cooked. I ended up just getting an Uber Eats because I was like, this is taking so long. The funny story of that was it took longer to get my Uber Eats meal to the door than even to cook the dinner. But anyway, and then the house we stayed in was pretty good. Motley did a good job. Massive big party batch. Massive big party batch. Turns out 2 fully grown men aren't supposed to sleep in bunk beds. So at about 10 p.m. I dragged the mattress off the top bunk and put it in the lounge. I was like, I can't do it. Like every time one of us moved, it was just like shaking.
Earthquake days.
Did you have the whole team in that house?
Yeah, we had the whole team in the house. It was really cool. So we had the girls had their own house, and then the boys had our house.
Yeah. Nice.
And it was cool. I've never done like that before for a relay, and it was really cool because we were just hanging out, music on, cook tea together, have a yarn.
Yeah.
I think the cool thing about that is like our age group, we've got sort of like 20 through to 40 in the team, which is kind of cool. Just all hang out and bonding session in the least sexual way.
I was just about to say
bondage session. Oh dear. And yeah, so then we hit race morning, and we were talking about the bike hub. So it's a team of 7, right? We've got 7 serves. The only person that says, I don't think this is a good idea, is Richie, who has the least amount of race experience. Me and Andy and Dan are like, yeah, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll give it a go. So I had a pretty average sleep. I had a bit of a funny tummy. It was fine. And do you guys sleep well on race night? Like
I mean,
like a race that matters something?
Nah.
I was up and down like a yo-yo. And so we all get up. And then it was like 20-minute rolling increments of just us eating bicarb.
Everyone just sitting there with the little
So I think I started at like 7 or 8:05, and then every 20 minutes one of us was having just about the batch for about 20 minutes apart. It was pretty funny. And then some of the boys were having in the back of the van. But it was pretty funny.
So how was the setup down at the track with
epic.
the pits and...
It was cool. Yeah, it was really cool. I think Jason did an awesome job of it. We all had, each club had their own dugout, basically where the cars were parked, and they were all kind of just lined up along where the change zone was, which was really handy because you just had to warm up, leave your stuff in the dugout, and then boom, you're right there on the start line. And they had a massive big screen with a live stream so you could see when your runner was coming in, which was real helpful.
It's about a minute, wasn't it?
Yeah,
roughly.
it was roughly a minute.
Yep.
Did they have a leaderboard as well? Yeah.
I think they did.
Yeah, so leaderboard was up, which was set. Music was blasting. They had a really good DJ there, actually. Which
Just cool to be able to see what's happening too. I mean, Tarkade Acro's awesome, but you don't see a lot of it. So.
Yeah.
I enjoy being able to support the girls' teams, and then
Yeah. Everyone, yeah. And I guess that was the hard bit too, because you weren't... They said you weren't allowed out on the course, when the race was going, but you could kind of sneak around the back and just stand on the grass as long as you didn't get in the way, which a bunch of us did just to cheer on teammates and stuff like that. But when you were in the dugout, you couldn't actually see the runners because it had the big blockade wall, and everyone was running on the other side of that. But yeah, holy shit! What a race in the A race.
Well, so we're warming up.
Yeah.
Tommy was like, "Come warm up." I was like, "Okay, I'll go warm up." I'm feeling awful.
I've never heard Oska talk this little. I was like, he's either feeling like shit or he's just really, really nervous.
And I was like a little bit of both because just the way our team was set up, and I was like, I'm going to have a big shift here, but it was fine. But I'm warming up and I'm like, I can't even run 4:30s. And to the point where I turn my watch over and I was like, don't even look at it. Whatever this warm up is, whatever this warm up is. And then, so we go out and back on the road. Tommy's just chirping. And he's real excited about his Ironman's run. He's trying to get me going. And I'm just offering absolutely.
I think we started talking about the podcast actually.
Yeah, we did. It's all because Kirky had been like, you guys are funny.
Yeah.
We've got one fan.
Yeah.
That means that just mum and dad aren't the only ones listening.
Yeah.
So we get back to the to HQ. I'm gonna be sick. Like I'm going to vomit. And then so I'm like, I may as well have my nootropics energy gel. That'll make me feel way better. And so if anyone that hasn't had that, it's like 40 grams of carbs and 200 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah.
I put that thing down and I turn and just open the rubbish bin. And I just
Straight away.
just dry gagging, like heaving into this rubbish bin, like, I've made a mistake. Put my flats on, do some drills, do a couple of stride outs. And took myself. I think the only thing I'd say is it was really hard to take yourself away for a quiet moment. You know when you know that
there's people.
I don't know what you guys do, but kind of 15 minutes beforehand, I kind of just like to.
Yeah.
And I think I steel walled a couple of people who were like trying to say hi, and I was like, I just need like a minute because it's all going to happen, and it's all going to get going. And then I felt pretty good to cover straight out. It's a little bit of water. Motley came over and gave me a cuddle, and then shit, the race was all on. So I mean, Richie ran unreal for us. Cam had a pretty good day too. I think there was 40 seconds between us.
Yeah.
The two A teams, and then you guys were ahead of us.
Yeah, James had a fantastic run actually. Yeah. The B team runner for the first leg. He put us.
You were like third.
Yeah, we were third.
Yeah.
I think we were about 30 seconds down on Pumpson North, who actually were first out the gate.
Yeah.
And then the Whippets A team was about 15 seconds in front.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I was 48 seconds down.
Yeah. A lot of work to do.
And well, I don't mind that. I prefer to chase than be chased.
Yeah.
What lap number were you?
Number two. So I was like, cool.
Yep.
I know my job. My job is to get us back on level pegging, and then I'm going to hand the baton to Chris Disco, and he's going to do some magic. I didn't realise how windy it was. Did you? Like, even though we warmed up kind of in the direction, but then and so I ended up, was like, okay, I need to catch Carson yesterday.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to worry about the wind.
Yeah.
And then obviously he hasn't been doing much, so I caught him and just blew straight past him. And then there's another guy from like Harbour or something, caught him. And then I didn't think I was going to get you guys.
Yeah.
And I was more focusing on you than Toby because your form looked better. I was like, I reckon Tommy's going to drag me up into Toby. And so I was kind of battling away. Didn't look at my watch once. Just ran like all out. And then I think I got us. I almost pulled level with you. I think I was about 5 seconds back. And then Toby had a bit of a disaster. Poor fella.
Toby, man. Asthma, anxiety attack, I don't know, something like that, but ended up in the ambulance on oxygen.
Yeah, just...
Poor bugger.
Yeah.
But he, credit to him, made it to the finish line.
Yeah, correct.
Because we all know relays, if you pull out, then that's your whole team's done. So
he did well.
Pulled it together and made it to the changeover, which was unreal.
So I think we ended up 40 seconds up by the time I finished.
Yeah.
And then I was white. Like,
ghost.
Call me Casper. And I didn't realise how bad it was. And then I got back to the team dugout, and Ali and Lily were like, "You good? Like, you good?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think so."
Nope.
And then I just turned to the sink and just lost all of my breakfast.
Everything.
And it wasn't even nearly digested.
Yeah.
Like you could have just.
Oh, so you got to see the bicarb again.
Yeah, you could have just. Now the bicarb had been, but it was the cornflakes and the peaches, and it was just this nasty combination. And you don't need to hear about me vomiting. And then Ronan and Chris kind of cancelled each other out.
Yeah.
And then Ethan had a great run. I mean, he was expecting to run the 4.4k when Henry pulled out. We had to get Richie to run that. Yeah. And Ethan, so I think Jack Payne took a little bit of time out of him.
Yeah, Jack had a really good run.
He had a great run. And then it was the battle of Tonga and Shido. And man, did they go back and forth.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Just two big hitters swinging. And then we were dead even coming into that lap 6 with Goody and Con. And
Con just had unreal day.
Had a day. He just showed us. I mean, he's New Zealand cross country champion.
Yeah.
Was he second at the 5k?
He's on a roll right now.
Yeah.
He's been healthy for a while.
He's in good shape. So
he put the hammer down.
Yeah. And then Dave got a free ride from Speakman.
Yeah.
And Belchy battled the win.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
So.
Sorry, I missed it.
Well, the word on the street is you might be back.
Yeah, well. It's
You
gonna
know?
be that fun. Yeah, might as well.
I know people. I know people.
Well, was it Fielding next year?
Yeah, Fielding.
Yeah.
And do you know that night, last time we were at Fielding,
It was unreal.
that was one of the best nights I've
I
ever had.
vividly remember, I don't know if Kyle Smith will listen to this podcast because he's, killing it in the tri scene now, but we were all upstairs, Saxon bringing back platters of drinks. Anyway, it got to that point in the night, and Kyle had figured that it would be an awesome idea to jump up on the table and take his shirt off and start swinging around. It was funny as we were all cheering him on, and then the security comes out and just drags Kyle off the table, and there's probably like 60 boys up there in that top half of the room, and they're like, yeah, you're out. And so everyone looks at each other like, if he's going, we're all going. So literally they took Kyle out, and then 60 of us just all left with him. It was so funny. I really hope that security guy felt bad because he just lost them a whole lot of income. We're out of there early.
I think my night ended with Chignal on my shoulders.
Chignal got kicked out too.
And Sisson's trying to
Shirts
take
off.
Sisson's trying to take my top off.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think it might be time to go home.
Road runners are just always the funniest thing because it's a bunch of runners who have just run a race and started drinking, so are getting pretty wasted really quickly. But we're always there like 2 hours before the actual public arrives, so it's just empty. And there's a bunch of runners in there, and then the public starts to trickle in afterwards, and they're just like, who the hell are these people? Like, so smoked at like 8 o'clock at night.
And for no reason.
No.
We were quite sensible this year because I'm getting old.
Knew when to call it quits.
I'm getting old. And I think like...
Well, you got races coming up.
Yeah, I got races coming up. And also I had to drive a van full of people back to Rotorua and Tauranga in the morning. And but I was still pretty tired. We had a couple. And then Sunday morning, Belchie and I were like, oh, well, should we go and have a run? And that man's got one speed, and it's just 4:15s.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit dusty. We've had 5 hours sleep. Oh, the bicarb sweated out of me overnight. I
Really?
woke up in like a pool of sweat. It was nasty. I was like, what, as if I just pissed myself. But it's all coming out my forehead and stuff. I was like, oh my God, I don't think I had that much to drink. It was nasty. But it's 4 grams of sodium. That's a lot of salt.
Yeah, that's a lot of
salt.
Yeah.
So we ran 37 and a half minutes out around into the headwind of Taupō Lake, and then turned around and came back pretty dusty, pretty tired.
We did not run that morning. I think we ran when we got back to Auckland. Like an hour.
It was pretty funny, but I think it was a really great weekend, and we are going to get Jason on the podcast when he's here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Just to yarn with him about some of the stuff that's coming up, because I think
all right, you did great.
it's got legs. I think they should put a 13k leg in there to suit us a little bit more.
Chuck a 15.
Yeah, check a 15k or 10 miler.
Let's
go
10
15.
miler.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to be a 10 miler soon. You run a marathon, cat. It's going to be out of the gate.
Easy peasy.
But as we were running around the lake, and Dan, I'm kind of tired. Dan doesn't have a lot to say, really, most of the time.
Yeah.
I was thinking about animals.
Perfect.
Animals. And this is deadpan truth. And then I was like, what order did the animals appear in?
Things you think about.
And then I thought giraffes. Giraffes had to be an afterthought because they make no sense. Have you looked at a photo of the face of a giraffe?
It's okay.
Bro, that thing has snorted crack. but it's somewhere between like a leopard and a camel.
Yeah.
That grew legs and a neck.
Yeah.
And simply because the monkeys didn't like the leaves on the top of the tree.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's the only one.
So whoever created, wherever it came from, giraffes, absolute afterthought. And then I was thinking about hyenas. Bro, those things are household pets with ADHD.
Actually,
Have you ever looked? And then I got lost down the reels when I was on the plane. Getting on the plane. I was like, looking. Have you ever seen that page where they just take photos of smiling animals with their tongues
so
out?
good.
No, it's pretty classic. It was pretty funny. I was like, who thought of a giraffe? And why has it got horns?
That's a good
They
point.
whack each other.
Yeah.
They're like full on have
yeah,
scraps.
it's crazy,
yeah.
eh?
Yeah, dust ups in the safari.
The neck's like a whip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then we're out there, and I'm thinking, have you guys ever had that feeling of just like absolute instant regret? You know that like just in the pit of your stomach, and you're like, it's like when I had that gel before the start, I was like, oh, fuck that up. I've made some. Have you ever had that? Just
Like
that,
during running.
or just. Well, I mean, the topic is running.
Sure, I've had it many other times, like not running, but like just random occasions. But
Okay, spill one out.
no,
and a semi-appropriate one out.
I can't think of them off the top of my head. But
Ah.
it's probably been one or two.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
No? Think about it next time you do it, you're like, oh, why did I do that for? Why did I say, or I'm in a meeting and I'm like, fuck, Oska, shut up, man.
Yeah.
Like, not everything you think has to come out, like, you know. And then I started thinking about, so you've said something you shouldn't have said, then someone can blackmail you.
Have you been blackmailed, Oska?
I haven't been blackmailed, and I don't have a sex tape. Much to the disappointment of everyone listening. So I can't be blackmailed. But do you know who I wouldn't want to be blackmailed by? The guy who writes the electronic keys for cars. He could blackmail anybody.
Electronic keys.
You know, so you have like the keys that like don't have keys, and you like press the buttons.
Yeah.
They can be rewritten, and so that guy could just steal whatever he wanted. So you just, if you're thinking
I don't know
one
how
guy,
you're thinking this deep on a long run.
I just think
I can't
I'm
think
just
this
thinking
deep.
like, I don't know why I was thinking it. We must have run past a car or something. I was like, oh, that's funny. Oh, well, how are they get in their car if they get it locked out or something? And then I was like, oh, well, someone's going to come rewrite the key. And
Yeah.
man, that guy's he's got real power. Like,
Yeah, he
fuck
does.
Trump.
Yeah.
That guy.
I mean, yeah.
That guy has like real power.
Could hack
And then I got a funny story about a car. I got a car story. I feel like I talked for a long time. Sorry, but I've just as verbal diarrhea.
We're just letting it flow.
Yeah, then it flow. So I was so tired last week. I think like Obi had been up since 5, and you hadn't gone to bed till 10:30. It was just one of those like nights. For some reason, I put my AirPods on in the car. I never do that. I never,
Driving along with the earphones
so
on.
I'm driving along and I'm listening to some music or whatever, and then I park my car. Don't turn the car off instantly.
Oh no.
AirPods in, noise cancelling, no sound.
Audi pops.
Tired. Open the door. Phone in the back pocket. Close the door. Lock the door.
Still go.
Car's still going.
Oh no.
I then go and run for 1 hour.
Yes.
I go and run for an hour, oblivious to the fact that my car is still on. Do my hours run, come back to the car, put my hand on the bonnet. Why is that still hot? Still got my noise cancelling headphones in.
No.
Take the
At least you
headphone
know
out.
they work.
The car's still fucking running. I was like, oh my
How the hell
god.
did-
Like I locked it.
Battery's not flat.
Nah, it's just running away, just chilling. No, it was petrol, full running. Someone could have got in that thing and just driven away.
Oh no.
It's like, what is going on there?
What
So,
the public were thinking just walking it past this car?
well, and it's branded.
Oh,
It's my
so-
front end car. So,
Could have pulled up the store.
Oscar doesn't care about the environment.
Yeah, he's. Oh, ouch. Oh, damn.
Just leaves it running.
Yeah, just leave it. So it's like, but where is he? Like,
Is he alive?
Gone.
So it's gone. And then, what seat do you guys prefer on a plane? Where's your seat preference?
Window.
Window.
But like back, middle,
Well,
front.
I reckon it depends on the flight. Like how long you're in the plane for. Because window, for like nighttime flights where it's short and you're like, okay, I'm just going to go to sleep. That's perfect. But then, if you're window and you're on a long haul
Trying to get out for a whiz.
and you have to get out for a whiz,
Oh, see,
you
I
have
don't
to get
care.
out
I'll
for
just
food.
push past. It's
You just
fine.
whiz.
Yeah, that can get tricky.
Do you know the person that invented the sky couch? He just had this rip-off idea, right? So I'm going to make people gamble
Yeah.
with extra money to see if they get a sky couch.
I do it every time.
Do you?
I reckon it's awesome.
Not once have I been upgraded.
No.
You're like, I'll pay that extra $80
I
in the
will.
hope I can lie across an armrest.
But I always
Yeah.
oh man, it's so good.
Oh man. That was the hardest part about going to Europe, was just like trying to sleep.
The travel
It's so
sucks.
so bad.
Okay, and so I'm on the plane going to Amsterdam. There's this lovely, and I'm kind of deaf in my left ear. And there's this lovely Indian man who's come from New Zealand too. He's got a very thick accent.
Oh god.
Like, and he's trying to talk to me. I can't hear a fucking word he's saying. Like, and he's just like yarning away, like, where you come from, where you doing? Like, oh yeah, cool, yeah. Yes, okay, great.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point like 35 minutes into the flight, I was like, I don't want to be rude, bro. I can't understand, like, it's so loud.
Yeah.
And your accent's real thick. This conversation's probably amazing. But I'm going to have to put my headphones on.
See, I'm the one to put the headphones in straight away so that I don't get bothered.
That's,
Yeah.
that's smart. But you never know who you're going to talk to.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
I
you
probably
might-
missed some amazing combos.
Like, but is a plane a place to have a conversation?
Not really.
Yeah.
No, like what are you going to find out about?
What if they're weird and you're stuck
It's a long
When you start
conversation.
talking to
Yeah, it is.
18 hours.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, then that got me thinking, instead of communicating by vocal, could we communicate by handing each other objects that meant something? You know, like if you hand someone a coat hanger, it could be like, do you want to hang out? Or you're like... yeah.
Is this still on the plane or?
I don't know, man, like, but just trying to find ways of working around the fact that you couldn't hear each other. I guess
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
sign language is.
Sign
but-
language, yeah.
Or you can actually type on the screens now, I think. You can actually message seats.
Oh, that's risky though.
Yeah, it's real risky.
It's
But that's
risky.
like, have you ever been on a plane and someone's just doing the old airdrop to everyone?
Yes.
There's airdrops on just random photos. That is
15
so
years
good.
ago, that would have just been the
Yeah.
the helicopter man. The
Send it to the whole
Yeah.
plane, just some random pictures of
Oh,
whatever.
that's pretty good, man. Yeah, and so then here we are. We're Thursday. Did not work out this week. Just ran 2 hours this morning. I ran 2 hours on Monday.
Damn.
Oh, dang. Yeah. I was not great company. I'd have to
Not
say.
great company.
I was not great company. I was unhappy. And it's funny because like Matt and I have worked together for 10 years. And I rang him on Sunday and I was like, I think I need to do my long run tomorrow. Like, one, I'm not doing it now, I don't have the time. And two, like, I need to do I got to run a marathon in like 25 days or something.
Yeah,
I need to do some running. And he's like, you sure? Like, you sure, man? I was like, yeah, I'm sure. And then out there. And we had an appointment somewhere, so I couldn't get out till 3:30 in the afternoon.
Long run at 3:30.
Oh.
I've done it. It's fine.
Nocturnal cat.
And I'm like,
I love it.
actually, have you seen, this is way sidetracked, but have you seen the picture of the wet owl?
No.
Yeah,
You should look there. Everyone should go and have a look at it.
Oh, actually, I think it
This
has.
is
yeah.
weird. It just looks like a sick cat.
Yeah, it does. Which does not look
Because
like
of
an owl
nocturnal.
at all.
I don't know, the nocturnal thing made me think of it.
Oh, true.
And then I'll be doing stride outs and bare feet.
On the grass.
Yeah.
And?
I don't know.
I'd love to do that if I could handle it.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
can handle that anymore, eh?
Nah, I need to
Lots
get
of
back
time.
into it.
But I was talking to Todd, my new S&C guy, and he was like, oh, maybe you could
a
just
great
do
idea.
4 of them. Like, do 4 of my shoes on the concrete to get warmed up and then do 4 on the grass. But your feet have no traction.
No.
Yeah.
So you need some of that slick tape
Yeah. Yeah.
or the spray that the basketballers and rugby boys put on
Oh,
their hands
yeah.
on your feet. Because you just, on the grass, it's just like, it's like
Yeah.
tractor tires. It needs something. It's no good.
Barefoot cooldowns. It's a big thing.
Oh, yeah. You guys did that 9 to 5s, eh?
Yeah. They do it a bunch in the States.
Huh.
That's one thing I picked up. Mr. Beamish, religiously barefoot, like a mile, just on the grass.
Amazing.
Yeah. Strengthens everything up.
Relaxes everything.
Yeah.
She's saying we shouldn't be in shoes. Oh, actually, some feedback I got was people wanted to know what shoes we wore for all the things we were doing.
Ooh.
So,
Okay.
well, are we supposed to be a podcast about shoes, running? Somehow we talked about giraffes.
Yeah.
Seat planes. Plane seats? Seat planes. It's not
Plane
seat
seats,
planes.
yeah.
Planes on seats.
Planes on seats, seats on planes.
Planes on planes. So I have, I'll start. I wore the Rocket X2, niche choice, for race day on Saturday at Relays.
Nice flight.
I just love how it feels. I got control over it.
Yeah.
And then I've been training in the Magnify from Puma. which is a super critically foamed EVA.
This one here.
Do you know, it's so basic, but it's so good.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of training in the Super Blast. I'm sorry, I just don't like it.
Really?
I think for me, I think it's a great shoe. I love that Essex have just gone, here's a big slab of fun foam with a little bit more stable foam underneath and then some grip. And like the upper is amazing, like what they've done to it. But it's just a bit stiff for me to kind of like cruise in. I think I wore my Endorphin Speed 4s yesterday because I helped Miriam and Alex with their threshold. And they kind of wanted to run just under sub 4s. And so I just wore that, and then I just did my stride outs and then carried on running in that. And I was like, this is just, I can get a little bit of purchase.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of the three I've been training in. What about you?
Yep. So yeah, my everyday kind of trainer is the 1080. It's New Balance. Just super soft shoe. I love it. Like anything over an hour, I tend to do in those. And then for like workout days, I'll warm up in the Rebel New Balance again, and mainly just because that's like a nice light shoe. And then for all my sessions, I just use the Super Comp Elite version 4. So yeah, love that shoe.
Yeah, I've been sticking to the Tempest for a lot of stuff.
Saucony.
Yeah, Saucony Tempest. Just long runs. And then I've actually had the luxury of trying a few flats out recently, which has been nice. I mean, I haven't worked out in a while, so I really liked the On. I liked the roominess.
Yep.
And the toe box was quite good, the Firmafoam. The Essex Mid-Speed Edge has been really good.
Is that where you were on Saturday? You in the Essex?
No, I was in the On Saturday. Yeah, it was in the On. Just only bought one pair of shoes with me, so. And then, what else? Yeah, kind of just been in those two. But have been testing out that Mark X2, which is a fun shoe. Yeah.
At this point, I'm wondering why Marvel hasn't sued Hoka.
Yeah, the colours.
Well, that, and it's like Mark X with carbon. It's clearly a Wolverine ripoff. Like it was like adamantine or whatever it is, and his bones. It's like, you clearly ripped that off.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the shoes we're going to talk about. But before we talk about them, do you know one thing that annoys me the most? Is when you're scrolling on Instagram and PTs have got Cliftons on in the squat rack.
Yeah.
Like that is
super shoes.
That is an instant ick, man. Like grow up.
It's like the
They
least
are running shoes.
stable shoe to do a squat with. It's got a rocket.
Yeah. Even if you had the best thing in the world to say,
Yeah.
I ain't fucking listening.
I'm looking at your shoes.
I'm swiping up. Like,
Get a
I'm
beer
swiping
fat,
straight up. Like, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So we're going to highlight a couple of Hoka shoes today. One, you've had a couple of runs in the Mark X2.
Yeah. It's been good.
Well, you talk us through.
Fun new one from Hoka.
Yeah, I think, it's super stacked. It's like over 40 mil in the back.
Yeah.
Two different densities of foam. You've got the fun kind of foam, fun Peber foam under the forefoot. And that kind of comes through and hooks up into the back, so if you do hit the heel, you get a little bit of the nice on foot feel of the Peber. And then they've gone with their like super critical EVA, which is in the normal Mark 6 for the ground contact and a PBX plate.
Yeah. I think the biggest upgrade was the upper.
Yep.
From the last one, and then also just having a bunch more foam under your forefoot.
Yep.
It was really nice. I tried it at a few different paces just to kind of get a good feel for the wider community. So jogged in like 5-minute Ks, and then like 4:30s, 4 minutes, and then 3:30s. It comes to life at 3:30s. I feel like that's probably what it's made for around that pace, like 3:30 to 4 minutes. But then also felt really comfortable jogging in it as well at like 4:30s and 5 minutes, which I was that was, I would say, the speed where I was a little skeptical about, because it does have the super foam. But the more I ran in it, like the first few runs, it felt a little unstable because it was so soft in the front.
Yep.
But the more I've run in it, it's actually felt better.
Yep.
The up is really nice. I like the roomy toe box. Doesn't rub anywhere in the front half of the shoe. The only thing I was, I guess, a little skeptical about is the heel counter.
Yep.
Just because it's completely different to the one before. It's quite firm, a lower down, and not a lot of padding. Like, I guess traditionally heel counters are padded and you want to feel like it's hugging your heel. I didn't mind it though. I actually don't mind the nothingness feel on the heel. Didn't rub in any spots. I thought it might have dug in, like in the follow through.
Because it is quite hooked.
Yeah, it's quite hooked, and it's the collar as well around the eyelets is quite firm, so it doesn't really move a lot with your foot. But I mean, I've seen other people review it, and they said it was a massive knock on the shoe. But personally, I didn't have any issues with it. So yeah, I mean, great shoe.
I think for anyone who doesn't want to go full carbon, or doesn't feel like they want something as stiff.
Yeah.
And so I think the beautiful thing about like a P-Bax plate or a nylon plate is it takes less force to produce a bend to get propulsion. And so for someone, slightly slower speeds, it's going to be a little kinder on your body.
Yeah.
So we're looking at it around that sort of 3.5 hour marathon, running a marathon off the bike for Ironman, like those type of things. I think you get the benefit of that with a little bit of stability, kind of like you talked about with the sidewalls.
It does wrap up the heel.
Wrap up pretty well. Nice. Like it's not a stability shoe, but it's going to be more stable than say the Cielo X1. For someone who is moving at that sort of, like you said, 3:45 to 4:15. Kind of paces their race day. And I think, paces are often indicative of effort. And so, Tommy's effort at a 4-minute K might be someone's effort at a 5-minute K. It might feel like it does for him at 4-minute K. So, be a little kind on your body. I think it's got a good amount of rubber on the bottom. I've done a little YouTube clip, which Maka will sort out. So I'll link that if it's ready to go. How did you find my one concern was the ribbed upper. Did you feel it touch the top of your feet?
No.
No?
No.
There's enough volume?
Yeah, there's enough volume in it. That was another worry I had. Like, it is a firmer upper, but it was... I didn't notice it at all.
Cool.
Yeah.
And 2 widths for men and women.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we got standard and wide for both.
Yeah. I would say the standard does fit a little wider than a normal standard.
Yeah, okay.
And, like, especially compared to the Clifton.
Yep.
Like, that would be a wide Clifton.
Okay.
And the standard. Mach X2.
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot more volume, and I feel like it is wider in the forefoot anyways, but maybe just a slightly different shape.
Slightly different shape to the others. And then Skyward X. Now this thing is a big boy.
It's a chunky boy.
It's a big boy. It is like 50 something mil.
Yeah.
Early 50s in the back and like 47 in the front. It's a mix of PB and NBA. It's a carbon, and it's actually got quite a nice upper, but a little less volume. It's probably more like some of the older models, like the Arahi in terms of the fit.
Yeah.
Just because I think that you're so high off the ground, they've decided to try and get a bit of lockdown on that. Like 5 centimeters.
Yeah.
That's the height of a fucking stiletto.
Yeah.
That's a heel. But again, I think what shoes have done is they've given opportunities to people who wouldn't have had them in the past to be able to achieve a goal. And so if you are just a bigger human, like a bigger runner, and nothing has the cushioning for how you hit the ground or isn't comfortable with the time you want to hit the ground. If you're running a 6, 7, 8 hour marathon, you're a weapon. This will just be comfortable. Or you just want no ground feel. Like you are scared of the ground.
You cannot feel anything.
You're like that. The ground has herpes.
Tips you off. Fires you.
Can you catch herpes from the ground? You have to table suck.
Yeah, you would have to. Yeah.
Would you table suck off the ground?
No.
No?
Not off the ground.
Off the table?
Depends
off
what table.
Off a mate's hand? Who thought of that?
I have no idea. But It's an interesting thing.
I'm going to think about that this week.
That's going to be his post.
It's going to be
post thoughts.
and it's got decent rubber coverage. This one is pretty expensive, but I think what you're getting is twice as much shoe as anyone else.
Yeah, so in theory it should last a
So
while.
it should last a little while. So I definitely think if you don't like the ground feel, or you're just a bigger human and you're finding
Could use it for anything as well,
there's
right?
enough padding. Yeah, 100%.
It's got enough bouncy foam. It's got a cutout plate.
Yep.
It's not a full
Yep.
length
So
plate.
you can kind of see, but there's like a yeah.
It's like laddered, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's stiff, but still offers some.
And I mean, there's so much foam there, you're not going to bend it.
How
No.
much are we talking
I
for?
think it's like 420 or 450 or something.
Yeah.
It's like it's substantial. But it's basically Hoka's Super Blast
Yeah.
with a little bit more mix in the foam and a carbon plate.
Yeah.
So I think if you add $50 for the carbon alone, that gets
Yeah.
you to the price point.
Yeah.
Rather than Super Blast just being the Peeba, just being the Peeba midsole. So I think again, if it creates an opportunity for someone to do something they couldn't do in something else, I'm here for it. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's the way we should be looking at stuff. And then the Cielo X1.
Oh, yeah.
This one's real interesting. Have you had a run in this yet?
Not a proper run, but yeah, down the footpath.
Yeah. The foam feels unreal.
Yeah.
It's just a little heavy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's super rocked.
Yeah.
Like the definition of a Hoka rocker.
Yeah.
That shoe.
But even if you ever get a chance to pick a pair up, the plate is like
Very curved.
inverted banana.
Yeah.
It's crazy how curved it's. Full Peeba midsole, the plate is sandwiched between two layers and it's winged, so you actually get okay stability from the carbon through the midfoot. But if you land back here, it's game over.
Yeah.
It's just so soft back here. Again, love this upper. I didn't think I'd like the collar, but
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
don't
good.
mind
Yeah.
I don't mind it. The cutout, I think they tried to save some weight, tried to call out the plate. I'd fill it in. Like it adds stability.
Yeah.
Like I think for the 12 grams of weight,
Yeah.
don't worry about it. We are going to see an update to this next year.
Yeah. It's,
But I can't talk about
update's
it.
cool.
But I talk about it. It's embargoed. Nice side walls, so you are getting a little bit of lockdown, a little bit of varus wedge in through the back, so you have a little mountain to roll up from the lateral to medial sides. And it's a nice fitting upper. It's a comfortable shoe.
Yeah.
Again, I think it probably falls into that sort of 3-arm marathon.
Yeah.
For someone with a pretty good foot that wants to feel that sort of rolly rock with bounce.
Yeah.
I think it's quite unique to have the two. It's just the way they've shaped the plate
Yeah.
and the two foams.
Yeah. It's definitely a marathon shoe.
Yes,
I would
100%.
say,
Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
Like you wouldn't feel great in a 5K because it's too rocked, I reckon, for a 5K.
Yeah, I like to be able to do more with my foot.
Put some pressure into the shoe before you fall off the front of it.
Yeah. So
That's my analogy anyway.
No, I think
Makes sense.
I think it's
Yeah.
a great analogy, man. I think it's a great analogy. Yeah, so that's a couple of shoes in the X series. Obviously, they've divulged a wee bit. They've called the Mark X2 the Mark X2 without carbon in it. It's like a fake Wolverine.
Yeah.
Do you know,
It is.
I watched Wolverine at Deadpool.
Great movie. It's so funny.
It is funny.
It's hilarious.
I might not have been in the right mindset to watch it. But
It's pretty whack.
I feel like Marvel has just completely lost the plot. Because if you're gonna take the emotional toll on me of killing off Logan,
Yeah.
and that movie was emotional. Like, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. And then you're just gonna use his bones
In the opening scene.
as war weapons and bring him back from another dimension.
Yeah.
it's
so good.
I just feel like, I mean, he's not Wolverine because you killed him,
No.
and then you're gonna pop him back into the movies like he never left because they know they fucked up by getting rid of him.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna do the same thing with Tony Stark,
Thor.
with Iron Man, because they made Iron Man Doctor Doom,
Yeah.
because that actually happens in the comics.
Yeah.
But then they'll probably just make him good again, and they'll become Iron Man because they realise without Iron Man they're fucked up. 'Cause people want Tony
It's a
Stark.
never-ending circle.
They want what do you call it? A chauvinistic
Yeah.
male prick.
Go round and round.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Yeah.
I have no idea.
I love Marvel. Sorry, this whole thing's kind of been Marvel thing.
Marvel was great.
Marvel is great. We probably waffled enough. Have we waffled enough? I don't know.
Questions? Did we get any questions? Or?
Oh, well, Kirky's questions was, did Kat actually lose
They
her
were
lunch?
answered. Yes,
And
I did,
yes, she
Greg.
did.
Thank you.
And then is she going to run a marathon? Yes, she
Yes,
is.
I am.
She is.
It's official.
It's official. She's entered in everything.
I've entered in everything, so I have to do it now.
Can I offer some advice?
Yes, I will take any advice.
Try and stay in Devonport.
Yeah, okay, good. Because I was like, do you stay in Devonport or do you stay across the bridge and get a really early ferry
Nah.
across? Because that would just be a pain in the
No,
ass.
so I've raced in Auckland 4 times. Once for the marathon, 3 times for the half. And every time in the first 3 times, you're up at 4:15 in the morning. And you're passing some delusional, drugged up, like pre-pubescent people down Queen Street to walk to the ferry.
Yeah.
And like that in itself was kind of, it was funny the first year, and then you're like, and then you get to, you're like,
oh, actually a
I,
race.
I don't need this. And then you sit on the ferry, and and it's kind of, you feel it like woozy and.
Oh, yeah, true. I do get seasick, so we won't be doing that.
And so this year I've booked 3 minutes from the start line. So
That's handy.
and that was one of my lessons from the Gold Coast was the elite van was full. We got bumped. They put us on the tram. I had to stand for 40 minutes. I was like, this is not the way.
Yeah.
This is
I already know it's already actually like booked out right in Devonport, but I think if I go a little bit north, it might be okay.
Well, if you think like 2K away and you just jog in.
That's fine.
Like somewhere in
Yeah.
there and just jog in for the warm. So my idea was, I think there was a race start like 6:15.
Yep.
Something like that. So I was like, well, at 5:30, I can just literally jog down to the K marker, jog back to the start, drop my bag, make sure I got warm stuff for afterwards. They take your bag to the finish line, fill your pockets with all the shit you need, and then boom, we're away. Rather than 4:15 in town,
Horrific.
walking over, getting on the ferry, having to walk, because the walk from the ferry dock to the start line is quite far.
Is it?
Like it's a good 800, 900 metres.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And so by the time you piss around, it's like nearly an hour of like fuckery.
Also, more time for things to go wrong as well. Yeah.
I think we're old enough now to learn from some mistakes.
We've made so many.
So yeah, I'm staying 3 minutes from the start line, and it's nice. Someone's just got a little Airbnb on the side of their house.
Nice.
The only downside is like having to get into town to drop your bottles and stuff on the Saturday.
Yes,
That's
I haven't thought about that yet.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to organise that.
So you have to. There's a drink station every 5K. I've had a chat to the organisers about trying to make sure we actually have an elite table, because last year talking to Belgium, he was like, my bottle was just in the masses.
Oh no.
Yeah, and that stresses me out so much.
Yep.
So I had a chat to Michelle Pepper, and she's going to have a chat to the RDs, and hopefully we can have a table.
That was the other thing I was going to ask you too, was like the lids. Like what kind of top on the lids of your drink bottle? Because I trialled with...
Squirties. I do the squirty bottle.
Okay.
Yeah, mini pumps are the best, but they're the hardest to see on the table.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna hit Harry up from Puma and ask. They've got some pink football ones,
Oh.
They'll stand
and
out.
and they're quite tall. And I was thinking that. And then when I was talking to Belchi on Sunday, he was like, you can also put like a balloon on the top.
Cute.
And then some of the Japanese guys had handles.
Oh, that's handy.
They made handles out of like what are the like the skewers with fuzz on them? You know, the kids' playthings.
Oh,
Fuck, it's gone from my brain. Twisty ties. Yeah, you know
Oh,
what I mean.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they come in all different
yeah,
colours,
yep,
and you
yep.
bend them, and they got
Yep.
wire in them.
Yep, yep.
You make like a handle out of that, and then so when you run past, you just like grab the handle
it.
off the top. You can see it from a mile away as well.
Yeah.
'Cause I think there's like in the Gold Coast, it was so well set up. Like I was table 5, position number 7,
Yeah.
and then they send you a map of the table.
So you know
Like,
exactly
so you know
where
exactly
you're going.
where it is, and the tables are kind of 20 meters apart. And there's 7 tables,
Yeah.
and so you know like every time table 5, position 7 is going to be there.
Yeah.
And like once you get through the 5K mark, and I also recommend like some people don't put a bottle at 5K. I'd put one there so you know where your bottle is for 10.
next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so I was
smart.
like, I grabbed it anyway because I saw it early enough and I had a wee drink, but it was like it just gives you a backup.
Yeah.
So you're not because by 10K if you haven't got something you're in trouble. Like because you everyone feed same as Tommy on the bike for the half Ironman you want to feed.
Get as much in as possible.
Yeah.
So many things to learn.
It's a lot and it can be quite stressful, but it can also help you break up the race because when I get
Yep.
tired, you're like, hey, what's my next mission?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get to the drinks.
Yeah, get to the drinks table and the year I won in Christchurch, it was just that. It was like, hey, where's my next drink?
Yeah.
This is tough. But then you kind of get a familiar face at the drink station, and I think Shittle City might even help out.
Yeah, I think
on the
you
bike.
can.
Yeah, like from he obviously can't bike across the bridge, but from that sort of 14, 15k mark, if he's allowed on the course on a bike, or he probably isn't allowed on a course on a bike.
Let him on the course.
Let him on the course. Do you know who that man is?
Yeah.
No, so that's my advice about
Cool.
Auckland Marathon. To anyone else running Auckland Marathon, see you guys there. It'd be fun. Maybe catch up afterwards. If we were bigger and more famous, we could take the podcast up to the finish line.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
Eventually.
We were thinking about how we could do that. Podcast at the finish line of events. And
That'd be so good.
talk to people. Yeah. You guys got anything else?
Nothing from me.
All good. It was a big week of things.
Yeah, it was.
We
It
covered a
was.
lot.
It was. Have you ever thought about an acorn falling off the tree?
And hitting you in the head, yes, or a pine cone.
Cat is feeling strong about this.
No, but have you ever run through Bottle Lake
Yes.
and it's like windy as fuck,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm gonna get hit in the head with
Yeah.
a pine cone for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Do you reckon the pine cone sees you coming? It's like, heh.
Yeah.
No, I was like, the pine cone falls off the tree and he's like, I wonder if I'll be a tree or if I'm just going to break someone's ankle.
That's it, yeah, you could roll your ankle on them.
Yeah.
Probably more likely to be the latter.
Yeah. Seems just an amazing sort of way of life. Nature, way of life, you
Wow.
know. Sacrificing yourself for others can be trees. Can they all be trees?
I don't know.
Is there enough, is
I
there,
mean,
I don't know.
statistically, they probably aren't.
is there enough dirt?
These are the questions,
Depends
Oscar.
where it falls, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Now everyone's gonna run through Bowl Lake Forest and
Be
just
like,
I'll be
where's the pine
scared.
cone?
They're
Where's the
gonna
pine cone?
gonna get me.
Do you know the other random question that has just literally popped into my brain? Do you reckon you've taken more steps in your life than eating grains of rice?
I eat a lot of rice. Don't know.
Ooh, that's
It'd be
a
tight.
crazy question. Probably more
I-
steps, I would say.
You reckon?
No, I'm gonna go rice.
Like how many grains of rice are in a bowl of rice?
Oh my god.
Don't know. Probably like 10.
Someone has to tell us. I need a way to have like a laptop while we're doing this. So
Probably
I
like
can-
5 grains. Only 5.
We're not Mary Caning ourselves. We're not doing that. We're in a whole bowl of rice.
5,
Okay. Think about that one, guys. Oh, we forgot the poll question.
I didn't know what it was.
The poll question from last week was out and back, which, by the way, I know I
Yes
fucked
or
up.
no? That was so funny.
I think I put the poll up when I had Obi like asleep on me and Indy yelling at me, and I was like, I need to do this thing. So I changed it. Thank you. You sent it to me, Anna sent it to me, Katie sent it to me.
No, I just answered yes.
Oh yeah. No, I was on the plane. I put it up before we got on the plane, and then I got off the plane. I was like, fuck.
Whoopsies.
Fuck. So I changed it. So we had I think we had 52 votes.
Oh, that's quite good.
44 people said loop.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
the sadistic 8 people that will want to do an out and back, like get your fucking mind checked.
crazy.
There's no one. Oh, like what's wrong?
I'll
with
do
you?
an out and back for a session if I know it's 8k.
Yes,
Four
yeah.
and four. But
Yes.
long run, yeah.
If you're like run 19k somewhere and then turn around and run back, it's like okay, get fucked.
To be fair, I used to like be quite scared of exploring places, and
Okay, fair.
I'd hate like thinking that I'd get lost and add like 15 minutes to my run.
Yeah,
It'd be
yeah.
horrific. So
If it's a
I-
new spot, out and back's
yeah,
fine.
new
But
spot out and back, then you're safe.
Okay, fair enough. I stand corrected. I apologise to all
Don't
those
get
people.
lost.
So we need a poll question for this week.
Ooh.
We need a poll question. If you're an acorn, would you rather be a tree or an ankle breaker? That's it.
That's Oscar's poll question.
I'll put that
I'll take
on.
the tree.
I'll put that on my Instagram. Okay, I'll put that. All right. Nothing else?
Nah.
Done.
Week
All right,
5.
guys. Thanks for checking in. Love it. And remember to eat your veggies.
Listen to us around the park and say g'day.
Oh yeah, tell us when you're listening and we run past. That's
Yeah.
great. We love it.
Broccolini is not a vegetable.